10 reasons you should never build a custom home. So most people think building a custom home is the dream. And for some people, it absolutely is. But after more than 30 years in residential construction, I'm going to tell you something that probably sounds pretty strange coming from a custom home builder. Some people just should never build a custom home. And I don't mean because they can't afford one, not at all. They shouldn't do it. I've spent a large part of my career building custom homes, and one of the things I've enjoyed most is the shared experience with clients. You start with an idea, sometimes an empty piece of land. You work through the design, make hundreds of decisions, watch the foundation go in, the walls go up, and eventually you hand the family the keys to something you created together. So that's an exciting feeling. With the right client and the right builder, it's an incredible experience. But I've seen the other side of it also. I've had clients I've had to let go. I've had to sit across the table from people and say, I don't think we're the right fit. We're not the builder for you. And there have been even situations where I've thought, I'm not sure this person should build a custom home at all. Because here's something I've learned over 30 years. Building a custom home isn't just a financial decision. It's a personality test. It really is a personality test. So before you buy that lot, hire an architect, or sign a construction contract, here are the 10 reasons you should never build a custom home. And if 3 or 4 of these sound like you, I'd seriously consider buying an existing house instead. So number 1, you need absolute certainty on the price. If going 10 or 15% over what you expected would create a financial crisis for you, you probably shouldn't build a custom home. Now, let me be clear, I am a big believer in detailed specifications and proper budgets and good contracts. A good builder should be able to tell you what's included, what's not included, and where your allowances are. But construction isn't manufacturing. We're dealing with weather. We're dealing with soil, labor, material availability, engineering, municipalities, inspections, and hundreds of individual decisions. You excavate and discover poor soil or a rock. A product gets discontinued. An allowance you thought was reasonably turns out to be not enough to get what you actually want. Or halfway through construction, you decide you want to change something. That's construction. A good builder should minimize surprises. Absolutely, they should. That's what you should expect. But nobody can eliminate every surprise. So if your budget is stretched so tightly that one unexpected $15,000 expense puts you in financial trouble, don't build. And number 2, you can't make decisions. A custom home requires hundreds of decisions, and you've got from flooring, cabinets, countertops, lighting, plumbing fixtures, electrical locations, paint colors, hardware, appliances, tile, exterior finishes, door styles, trim, and they don't conveniently arrive one at a time. Sometimes you're making 10 or 15 decisions in the same week. And here's what homeowners don't always understand. When you don't make a decision, construction doesn't necessarily wait for you. Trades are scheduled, products have lead times. One delayed decision can affect several other trades, and it does. If the electrician needs a decision before drywall and you take 3 weeks to make the decision, you've potentially affected the drywall schedule too. Custom building requires decision making, and eventually you have to be able to say, that's the decision, let's move forward. If you can't do that, you're going to make yourself and everyone around you miserable and crazy. Number 3, you expect perfection. A custom home is built by human beings. You could have 40 to 50, sometimes more companies involved in building one house. You've got the framers, you've got electricians, you've got plumbers, you've got drywallers, you've got painters, roofers, siders, HVAC technicians, tile setters, cabinet installers, concrete crews, landscaping crews. There will be deficiencies, there will be adjustments, there will be things that need to be repaired. That's why we have inspections. That's why we have walkthroughs. That's why we have warranty. The question isn't, will anything ever go wrong? Something always does. The real question is, how does your builder respond when something does go wrong? Do they acknowledge it, document it, fix it properly? That's what matters. If every minor imperfection is going to become a major confrontation, custom building may not be for you. And number 4, you can't handle change. You can spend a year designing a house, and construction can still teach you things about that design. Something that looked fantastic on a drawing may feel different when you're actually standing inside the room. A window might look too low, a hallway might feel too narrow than you imagined. You might stand inside the framed kitchen and suddenly realize, I wish we'd moved that island maybe 6 inches. Some things can be changed, some can't. And some can be changed, but they're going to cost you money. That's where flexibility becomes important. Construction requires problem solving. If every change or unexpected issue feels like a catastrophe, it's going to be a very long year. So number 5, you second guess everything. I've seen this happen. You select the flooring, then you go home and you start looking online, and now you find another floor, then Instagram shows you another one, then your friend shows you what she installed. Now you're back at the flooring store. Then you start wondering if your first choice was actually better. This all happens, trust me. I've seen it many times. Now multiply that by hundreds of decisions. At some point, you have to stop shopping. There's always another faucet. There's always another light fixture. There's always another countertop. And there's always something more expensive. Make an informed decision, make sure it fits your budget, and move forward. That's my advice. If you constantly second guess every decision you make, custom building can become exhausting and frustrating. And number 6, you think the cheapest builder is the best deal. That's definitely going to cause you some problems. This is where people can get themselves into serious trouble. Let's say you get 3 prices, 3 contracts, or 3 quotes. One builder is $650,000, the other is $700,000, another is $775,000. It's very tempting to look at that first number and think, wow, I just saved myself $125,000. Maybe you did. But before celebrating, I'd want you to know why there's a $125,000 difference. What isn't included? What are the allowances? Are the specifications actually the same? What level of supervision are you getting? Who's going to be running your project? How long have their trades worked with them? What's their warranty history? What does their previous work look like? And most importantly, are you actually comparing the same house, apples to apples? Because one of the most expensive things you can buy in construction is a cheap price that wasn't realistic to begin with. Don't choose the person who's going to build one of the largest investments of your life simply because they gave you the number you wanted to hear. So I've been in new home construction for decades, and I have put together a book to help people move through the process, educated and empowered. And I will leave the link below if you are interested. And number 7, using every dollar you have. If this house requires every dollar you've got, I'd be very careful, because there's the cost of building the house, and then there's the cost of actually finishing the house. Remember, you have landscaping, you've got window coverings, you've got furniture, appliances, fencing, decks and driveways, cost of moving. Maybe you're carrying another house or paying rent during construction. Those are all costs, soft costs, they are still costs. And then there are the things you decide you want to bring. And then there are the things you decide you want during the build. That's why I like a healthy contingency. I can't stress that enough. You need breathing room. I've seen people build beautiful houses and then spend the next couple of years financially stressed because they used everything they had to build this and then some. Your dream home shouldn't make you house poor. And number 8, you're designing the house only for yourself. I learned this one personally, and I did. I built my own custom home years ago. I was in the industry. I understood construction. I certainly did. I still made a floor plan decision that probably cost me, when I went to sell it, probably around $40,000-$50,000 when it came time to sell the house. It wasn't a bad house. It was a design decision that worked for me, but the market didn't agree. And that was an expensive lesson that I had to learn. Now, absolutely personalize your custom home. That's one of the reasons you're building a custom home in the first place, and that's exciting. But unless you're planning to stay there forever, somebody else is eventually going to have to buy your house or want your house. There's a difference between personalization and designing something so specific that you've dramatically reduced your resale market. Think about resale while you're designing, not when you're putting it up for sale. And number 9, you think a new house is going to fix something else. This one doesn't get talked about very much, but I've seen it a lot. A custom home isn't going to fix a bad relationship. It's not going to solve a problem in your life. And construction can actually magnify problems that already exist. Building a house puts pressure on people. Money pressure, deadlines, decisions, unexpected costs. One person wants the $20,000 kitchen upgrade. The other person wants to stay on budget. One wants modern, the other wants traditional. And these aren't decisions you're making once a month. Sometimes you're making them every single day. I've watched construction put enormous stress on couples. So if things are already under serious pressure at home, adding a 12 or 18-month custom build may not make things better. It may make every existing problem bigger, and I've seen it. Number 10, there isn't mutual trust. For me, this may be the most important point in this entire video. Trust, mutual trust, because homeowners hear all the time, make sure you trust your builder. And that's absolutely true. I couldn't agree more. But there's another side to that. Your builder has to trust you also. I've actually walked away from custom home projects because that trust wasn't there. And there are two particular projects that have always stuck with me all these years. One was the acreage, I call it. The first was a custom home on an acreage. I met with a client. We started working through the project details. And as we progressed, we got further into issues with the property, started coming up. And I started realizing there were things about the lot that the client already knew about that weren't being communicated clearly to me. At that same time, there were a lot of pressure to get the document signed and get the project moving forward. And something didn't feel right at all. I remember going home one evening, knowing he wanted to meet the next day and move the project forward. And I spent that evening and even a good part of that night thinking about it. Because this was a substantial project. You don't just casually walk away from a custom home contract when building houses is how you make your money. But I kept coming back to the same thing. If I'm uncomfortable with this relationship before we've even started, what's going to happen when we have our first serious construction problem? So the next morning, anyway, I contacted him and I just said to him, I thought about this and I don't think we should move forward with this build together. He wasn't happy at all. He was pretty upset, I'd say. In fact, he got pretty angry. And I had the impression he had already been down this road with other builders. But I wasn't willing to enter into what could be a year or two relationship when I already felt the trust wasn't there. Ultimately, that house never got built. And that experience stuck with me for many years. Because sometimes one of the hardest things to learn in business is when to walk away from business. Well, my number story too. I call it the $50,000 signing day surprise. So this client came into our show home wanting to build. We picked the lot. We had a stock plan that he liked, so it looked pretty straightforward. And we started working through his budget. He had a number he needed to stay within, and some of the things he wanted simply didn't fit that number. That's normal, that's the process. That's part of custom building. So we continued working through the process. We had several meetings, a lot of them were evening meetings, which I wasn't too excited about. I had a young family, and my evenings were pretty important to us. But that's part of the business. He wanted to build the house, and I was trying to find a way to give him what he wanted within a budget he could actually afford. There was a lot of negotiating, back and forth. It was pretty intense sometimes, more back and forth than I was normally accustomed to. But eventually we got there to a number we agreed upon. We agreed on the specifications, we agreed on the price, everything looked great. We had all the details nailed down, and let's build the house. Then came signing day, which was the following day. And he essentially said, when he walked in, he said, Scott, I'm not signing unless you take another $50,000 off the price. Wow. So what are we talking about with this house? What are we taking out? Because we can't build the same house for this price that you're talking about. Not the same specification, not the same scope, not everything, with all the details we already talked about. His answers were he simply wanted another $50,000 off the price we had already negotiated and worked through. And that was it for me. I essentially said, we've spent a lot of time together. We've negotiated this in good faith. We've agreed on a price. If that agreement doesn't work for you anymore, that's okay. But we're not the builder for you. And that was the end of the discussion. We never built the house. At that point, I wasn't thinking about the $50,000 anymore. I was thinking about the next 12 to 18 months. What's going to happen with the first change order? What's going to happen when we encounter an unexpected site condition? What's going to happen when he wants an upgrade? Are we going to negotiate every decision we've already made? And that's something I learned over my career. How somebody behaves before the contract is signed can tell you a lot about what the relationship is going to look like after it's signed. There's nothing wrong with negotiating. You should negotiate, I agree. You should ask questions. You should understand what you're paying for. And if something doesn't make sense, challenge it. But eventually both sides have to be able to make an agreement and move forward. Construction is difficult even when everybody trusts each other. When they don't, every little problem becomes a battle. So who should build a custom home? After everything I've just said, you might think I'm trying to talk people out of building, but I'm not. I loved custom home building. Some of my favorite memories in this business were standing with the clients and watching something we've talked about for months finally becoming their home. And they had their keys, their families there. It's exciting. There is something pretty incredible about standing on an empty piece of land and then months later handing somebody the keys to their new home. So who should build? Someone who's done their homework, someone who understands their real budget and has money in reserve, someone who can make decisions, someone who understands that construction will never be perfect, someone who can deal with problems without treating every problem like a crisis, someone who's properly vetted their builder, not simply hired the cheapest one, because that will get you, and someone who's building for the right reasons. And most importantly, someone who understands that a good custom build requires a relationship with trust. Because a successful custom home isn't just built on a good foundation, it's built on good relationships. So yes, trust your builder, but understand that your builder needs to trust you also. And if that trust isn't there before the contract is signed, don't convince yourself it's magically going to appear. Sometimes walking away is the smartest decision either side can make. So, after more than 30 years in residential construction, that's one of the biggest lessons I can give anybody thinking about building a custom home. Don't just ask, can I afford to build this house? Ask yourself, am I actually prepared to go through the process of building it? Those are two completely different questions. If you're thinking about building, renovating, or you're already under construction, that's what this channel is about. I'm going to show you the things I've learned over 30 years, the good, the bad, the mistakes I've made myself, and the things I wish more homeowners knew before they signed a contract. Because the best time to learn about construction isn't after something goes wrong, it's before you build. If this video has helped you, subscribe to the channel, please. And more importantly, share with somebody who's talking about building their dream home or looking at it starting a major renovation. Because sometimes the smartest construction decisions you'll ever make is deciding whether you should build at all. I'm Scott with scottgrozelle.com. Come visit me on my website for more information and more tips. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.